This week in news, Kotor 2 broken? Mirror's edging. History repeats itself? And SGF biggest yet. Extra, hear all about it.
Hey guys, welcome to the podcast where kids better not interrupt. I'm the Dean of Games, the Dean Slater if you're on Twitter or Twitch, and joining me is twitch.tv/LMJ the Hitman Landen.
Pew 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 pew! Gun noises.
Gun noises. So how have you been?
Doing pretty good. My TikTok game's been going up. I've been making 2 videos a day for the last week and a half. I have not ran dry of ideas just yet. I got the platinum to Blood Hunt and thinking about playing the Nickelodeon's All-Star Brawl. I don't know. We'll see. I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, that's what I've really been up to. You know, it's the summer game drought, so kind of waiting for the the fall to hit, and then I'm just have too much. I want the too much to play feeling back, please.
Yeah. So speaking of fall, like none of the first party really have a whole lot in fall. I would say Nintendo probably has the most, but even then, it's kind of like I'm not disparaging. Xenoblade Chronicles at all, but like doesn't really excite me at all.
Doesn't fit the mass player base.
Yeah, and so it's like someone suggested that maybe Nintendo doesn't do a summer game showcase at all because their fall lineup's already set, and I was like, what do you mean it's already set? The other first-party people don't have anything either, but they don't have anything.
There's a few wild cards out there, like that Forspoken game by Square Enix. I think it's a PlayStation exclusive. I kind of feel like it might get pushed again, but because they're not really talking about it, and it wasn't at Summer Games Fest for some reason. So there's that one, and there's also the big wild card, like, is God of War 2 this year? Like, is that going to happen? They keep hinting that it could potentially happen, and if it does, then winter's locked in for Sony. Like, Sony can have the third parties in the big Mamma Jamma game. But if not, then, like you said, there's just nothing for Sony. And Nintendo, like, Xenoblade Chronicles is only for a niche community. So, no offense to the people playing them. I've heard good things. It's just not my thing.
And Splatoon's supposed to be coming out this year, I believe, too.
I forgot about that. Yeah, Nintendo and Pokemon. Like, honestly, Nintendo could just rely on just the Pokemon.
Yeah, so the Pokemon alone could do it, but yeah, the other 2 games have a big fan base. I am not part of that fan base.
Yeah, I don't know too many people who are, but that's just my fan base.
So, yeah, I just don't think it's a good idea for them not to have a summer showcase at all.
I agree. Yeah, there was that rumor that there might be something at the end of this month, and they had the Xenoblade thing, but who knows? It could still happen, but it's pretty quiet.
Yeah, it is very quiet. Well, this is not a quiet podcast. This is your weekly gaming news podcast covering the news leading up to Sunday, June 26th, 2022. If you like us, you can go to patreon.com/thebriefingroom. Let's get to some news. So Kotor 2 is broken.
I heard about this.
Apparently, after the Basilisk crash cutscene, the game crashes. Aspire, who I should point out, I don't have it in the notes. Aspire is also making the remake, the KOTOR remake. They
Stuff.
yeah, they acknowledged that the issue, and then they are working on a patch for it. They also insist that this is an issue for a very small group of players. They didn't add the very, I just added the very for a little fluff. It's an issue for a small group of players, and they did provide a workaround for those players affected until they get the patch fix, put out. What do you think about KOTOR 2 being almost unplayable?
Yeah, I heard there's it's like a hard fix. It's like a real rough one. It's like they're probably gonna have to take quite a bit of time to come up with a fix for that, and it may not even be able to work. So,
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna transition this into a kind of a different thing, but like this is just a prime example of why the Switch needs a Switch Plus. Like it's just having a hard time with these games. I know they had a hard time with Doom and like other third-party games that are like kind of meant for the other consoles. So like maybe you keep the smaller stuff on the Switch and you allow the Switch Plus to have these newer things.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not add that to the notes, but that is a good point. This is strictly the Switch version.
But yeah, that's sad because that's a wonderful game, and for the people who's playing that for the first time, which I'm sure the mass amount is people replaying it, but for the people who's playing it for the first time, that's a terrible way to experience it. That's just awful.
Now we know why they went with the Wii version of Force Unleashed.
Now good point. I did not even piece that together. Like, why? Like, you got Doom running on. I know, like I said earlier, it's terrible on the Switch, but like you got Doom somewhat working on the Switch. You can't put the Force Unleashed from way back in the day. But apparently, KOTOR 2's like an Xbox game and an old school PC game. So if that's broken, then yeah, maybe they should have stuck with the Wii version. Now we know.
Oh boy. Just come on, Nintendo.
Yeah,
come on.
Just get it together.
So there's not going to be a Mirror's Edge, or as I put, Mirror's Edging. So DICE's general manager, Rebecca Kutaz, I don't know if I said that last name right, I apologize, was asked if Mirror's Edge was off the table, and she said, "We are focusing on only Battlefield 2042. There is no time for anything else. This is what we want to do. In 3 years, we want to be the first-person shooter powerhouse that DICE deserves to be, and that is what we're going for."
Go ahead, but
6 months have been spent fixing the game, and it just launched its first season. It just launched its first season. I'm pretty sure what came with that first season was a scoreboard, and I'm not even kidding. Like, good God. You're going to focus 3 years on a game that everybody done forgot after the first week? No way. There's no way in hell they possibly think that focusing on Battlefield 2042 is a good idea. And I honestly believe the people that work for DICE have probably been there for so long they don't want to switch it up. But it's got to be awful there. You got to work on a dead game. Your player base is dead. It's dead. Leave the game alone. Move to the next concept. Focus on an IP that could still be a shooter that you guys did good with. Battlefield 3. Fucking Bad Company 2, make a Bad Company 3, like make a whole new title, do a whole different thing, and spend a lot of time on it. Why? Are you think you're gonna relaunch this game? No, there's no way. Go ahead. Good God. Go ahead. All right, I have 2 more points, and then I have my own little rant also. EA's committed to 4 seasons of 2042. And there allegedly are discussions of a Battlefield-connected universe, which...
It's right, dude. Good God. DICE is they used to be a studio, and there's 5 studios that worked on this game, and it turned out to be hot garbage. Hot
Yeah.
garbage. 5
So-
studios. Good.
Here's my thing. You've already destroyed Battlefield as a franchise.
Yep.
There is no coming back from Battlefield. Your last 3 games have done terrible and have been terrible. For all the shit that 343 gets for Halo 4, Halo 5, and Halo Infinite,
Those games are playable.
those games are playable. And, you know, with Halo Infinite, people were praising the gameplay of it.
Oh, gameplay was so smooth. It's so good in Halo. Like it feels so good to play Halo for a fact. Battlefield just doesn't feel good. It feels like you're playing. It doesn't even feel like old games on PS2 play better than Battlefield on launch. The rubber banding, the bullets that don't connect, the sand marks you're making in concrete for some reason. You can see people's footsteps in concrete because it looks like sand for some reason. I dropped $70 on that game because my brother convinced me, like, oh, it's going to be fun. At least we'll be playing together. It'll be okay. No, it doesn't matter how many friends you're playing with. That garbage mess is not fun. And it doesn't matter how fixed it is. It's done. It's over with. Like, you didn't come up with a good product.
And that's the other thing. You had this as a $70 game, and it didn't even have a campaign. Free-to-play multiplayer is the way. I don't know why you guys didn't go with free-to-play if you were only going to have multiplayer.
I was excited for there not being a campaign, as in, like, awesome, 5 studios working on it, and nobody's working on campaign. It means it's just multiplayer. They're focused on multiplayer. They put the time in. Nah. And what's sad is even if it was delayed to this moment right now, 8 months later, 9 months later, it came out in October. Even if it got delayed to this moment right now, the game would still be dead on arrival. Dead on arrival.
Yeah,
God awful. Like, I liked DICE quite a bit. Like, Bad Company 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Prime shooters right there. And good campaigns. And you got Battlefield 3. Terrible campaign. Pretty damn good multiplayer. Not the best, but a pretty damn good. Then you got Battlefield 4. Shit campaign. Like, embarrassingly shit campaign. But the multiplayer, not bad. I was a huge fan of Battlefield 1. The campaign was whatever. It was boring. But the multiplayer to Battlefield 1 was actually it played so smooth, it worked, and I like the World War I era that they presented, and it worked. The main thing I'm trying to say is it worked. Battlefield 5, trash, and it started to not work very well. And then you have this game that makes Battlefield 5 look like a fucking gold mine. I don't understand what went wrong. I would love to have been a fly on the wall. The dev interviews they had with the company, like, all right, how's it look? Well, we're a week away from launch and nothing fucking works, and I guess there's no scoreboard.
Yeah. I just...
Running out of
like
breath.
you said, Bad Company, Mirror's Edge. You have franchises you haven't killed. You want to be a first-person shooter powerhouse, which, by the way, what does that even mean? Do you want your game to be a first-person shooter powerhouse? Do you want the studio to be a first-person shooter powerhouse? Because let's face it, Activision, they don't have one studio working on Call of Duty. That's the big dog right now. So if you want to beat them, you're going to have a rotation of like 5 studios.
Or just take 3 to 4 years on one game. It's fine. If you take 4 years on a dev cycle for a really good game, you're going to have a lot more success and a lot more eyes on your game. And you just start promoting that. Like, look, we heard you didn't like Battlefield 5. Here's an extra few. They should have delayed the living shit out of Battlefield 2042.
Yeah.
They just cared about the money, and they got plenty of the money. They got plenty of the money because I'm one of them. Like, I got convinced to play that with my friends. They got $70 for me to play it for a week and then drop it and laugh. Like when my friends say it's better now a month in. Like, what'd they do? It's less rubber bandy when you play online. Ooh, that's not good enough.
Yeah. And then the Battlefield connected universe. Has anyone ever cared about the story of Battlefield? Like you even said, the campaigns have been whatever at best.
Yeah, the only time they've had an actual good campaign was Bad Company 2. They had characters with, like funny traits or just traits, and like they could be likable, and they went through an actual plot. And everything else was just nothing. It was just like, here's a scenario of you shooting people that aren't shooting back. Oh, God. Their campaigns are trash. Like you said, Mirror's Edge is a good IP. They can work with that IP. Honestly, they could turn that IP into something huge, an open world game with your friends. Like, there's so much they could do with Mirror's Edge. Whether it be small or large scale, there's so much they could do with that. To put that off to the side is it's so dumb. That makes no sense.
EA wants their money, and I don't know that they're getting their money back with 2042. I think that's the issue. They're trying to get that back.
Digging a money hole. They're just digging a money hole.
Also, you mentioned something that I wanted to bring up. It was in the article. I didn't put it in the notes, but I guess according to the people in charge of DICE, the people that are currently working at DICE have been big Battlefield fans for their entire lives and want to make a good Battlefield game. Well, you know what? All those people that are like editing images of characters and being like, this is why you should hire fans. Well, guess what? 2042 is made by fans, and look what that got them.
Yeah, for real. For real. You have an IP that you can sell through all kinds of different things. You could release a Battlefield game that's just a campaign game. Hell, there's these rumors that Activision is working on a Call of Duty or the Call of Duty teams want to make an open world RPG. Like, you're gonna sit back and let Activision branch out before EA does? Are you kidding me? You're gonna let Activision, that runs their games into the fucking ground, come up with an open world RPG from the studios that bring you Call of Duty? But you're gonna bring Battlefield 2042 to an extended universe? No, it makes no sense. Who is in charge over there? Any regular person who plays games or these games could be like, raise their hand like, excuse me, who the fuck do you think this is for? Who do you think's gonna come back to this?
Yeah, I don't understand. Probably they think the people that already dropped $70 and it's and they can buy 3 games a year and they drop $70 are gonna be committed to playing more, and that's just sad that they're exploiting people like that.
Yeah, so sad. And EA is. They've been known to be money hungry and not care, but I was comparing them to Activision. Like, Activision's got a worse rep than them, and they're showing them up. Maybe EA does need to sell. EA needs to go to a different company, something.
Yeah.
If they were to be sold to literally, a random person on the street, the first thing they would say is like, "Hey, what's this thing that's eating all your money? Like, let's do something different here. Let's not do that."
All right, so
moving along.
History repeats itself. Fall Guys went free to play, as well as going to the Xbox and Switch consoles. And like its original launch, it couldn't handle the influx of people.
It's a good bad problem.
Yeah, that's pretty much the whole story. It's a good problem to have, but a bad problem because it does end up turning away some of those people that were part of the influx. But
I think this game's gonna blow back up. I have a feeling that Fall Guys is gonna have another. Now that it's just like all these people are trying to play it, they're gonna. All it takes is like 1 or 2 games, and you're hooked into the whole process of like what Fall Guys is, and I really do feel, especially the Switch community and the Xbox community will find this game, whether it's not working right now or later. They're gonna play this game and they're gonna get hooked, and I think this game is gonna blow up. You just watch those Twitch numbers, and you're gonna start seeing more and more people watching.
And I think it kind of died before Season 2 even got there. And it's like, now they've got, I think they're in like Season 7 or something. It's like, there's a lot of content compared to what originally launched. And so there's... My biggest problem right now is, with Fall Guys, having played it, is they ended up adding a finale that had an element of randomness to it, which I don't hate. But ever since they added that finale that has an air of randomness, it's like the game favors that finale over the other finales. And it's like, I like that there's a finale with randomness. I don't want it to be the only finale I ever see. Give me Fall Mountain. Give me, the what is it, the jumper one where you gotta avoid the poles for the finale. Give me, Hexagon. Like,
ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Quit giving me this finale that it's that one race where you have to break through. There's like fake doors that you just bounce off of, and then there's one door that's real that you can crash through. It's basically a maze of those fake doors. And then whoever gets the crown first basically wins. Which I don't hate that idea, but again, I don't want that to be the only finale I ever see, and it seems like it is.
Switch it up for sure.
But yeah, there's so much content compared to what there used to be. So hopefully it stays this time, because there is so much. And they also have, like, different modes now. So, like, you can just play the one where it just randomly generates what you do. Or you can, they'll have things like everything is basically rollout, where you're on that, where you've got to walk across each of those platforms as they're rolling. Like, it's just... All the levels are just those levels, including the finale. Yeah, they do a bunch of cool stuff like that. It's so hopefully it stays. I do like that it's on Xbox and Switch. I'll probably still play it on the PC because I have so much stuff on the PC. I did link my Epic and Steam accounts, so I have yet to actually pull it up on the Epic store to see if it's all of my stuff's there from
Carries
Steam.
Yeah.
Cool. Because if it's not, I'll just keep playing it on Steam. But yeah. When was the last time you played Fall Guys?
Well, I showed my girlfriend's kid, and he is absolutely hooked with it. And honestly, she likes it too. My girlfriend definitely likes it. It's honestly for anybody, like all age groups. Oh, you can be an old man, you can be a small child. Does not matter. It's fun. It's literally just meant for everybody. The control scheme is so simple. But no, I played it. Let's see, it's still about maybe 2.5 months ago. But prior to that, it's always like something that I'll like get a hankering for, or I'll like have an excuse like, hey, little dude, like you want to play some Fall Guys? I'm kind of feeling like playing some Fall Guys, and it gives me an excuse to play. So
yeah,
I haven't I've never consistently, other than its launch, I had to get myself a crown before I could actually chill on that game. But I would always consistently come back to it every month or so, just come in and play a couple matches. Because that's the thing about Fall Guys. Like, it's easy to pick up and play. Like, you don't lose touch of the game, you know. Mm-hmm. So you can pick it up at any moment and really come back in, and that's what I do. Even now, like now that whenever the servers can handle it, would be cool to like, I have some Xbox friends. Do they allow party system? I have to go check to see if they allow the party up with Xbox players or not. It's Epic, so I feel like they do because they do that with Fortnite. So
I feel like they would.
Definitely have some Switch friends and Xbox friends that I'd like to play with.
I know it is in fact cross-play. I'm curious. I'm curious about that myself. And you can do custom games where you just have only your friends. You don't end up winning. You don't end up. Yeah, you don't win crown at the end. You win. I think if you win anything through these custom matches, it's like fragments, which you can, if you get enough fragments, you can turn it into a crown. But yeah, you can do custom games too.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it'd be fun to get like a huge party together to play some Fall Guys.
Yeah. So I'd be down. They also hand out crowns like candy now through the season pass, and they even have a premier season pass now. So I wonder how they're going to hand out crowns like that. But I had a moment recently. I had hopped on for the first time in like 2 months. This was a month and a half ago. I hopped on for the first time in 2 months. And I had like 7 crowns. And I was like, where did these come from? I don't remember having these many when I left.
Wow.
But it must have been all the times that they went through and saw all the times that I lagged on the finale and lost
this
because
guy
I
deserves
lagged.
it. Yeah, this guy deserves it. You need this. Don't leave.
I have a clip on my Twitch when I was streaming some Fall Guys, and I got so mad. I was it's the matching game, where it's like, okay, here's the fruit you gotta be on the platform for, and then you gotta go to the right platform, the memory one or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm on the right platform, and just nobody went to the right platforms. Like, there was like me and maybe 4 other people. I was like, oh, we're going to the finale. But it was a modded version of the level, because they've added mechanics that they've then incorporated into old levels at random. And so it was a level that also had fruit cannons. And so I'm standing on the platform. I'm the only one on my platform, and then the other platform had like 4 people. I was like, we're going to the finale, and then a fruit cannon just blasts me with fruit. I had nowhere to go.
No.
Like, it was an orange, so it's not like I can avoid the orange on this tiny ass platform, and I just got knocked off, and I was like, no!
That's hilarious. My first time I got close to a crown definitely was a while before I got close to a crown. But the first time I got close to a crown, it's one of the last part of it where you climb up a tall mountain. You have to go to the top of the mountain. You jump and you hug the crown and you win. I got to the top. It's just me. I have a good distance between everybody. I'm on stream. I'm getting giddier and giddier. Like, oh, this is my moment. I've been building to this moment. I jump. I land on the crown and I face plant it and slide right off because I didn't hug the crown. I just face planted and slowly slid off. And I forgot to hug it. And, oh, God damn it! Slide all the way down to the bottom. Yeah. Good times. Good bad times.
Oh, boy. So, Summer Game Fest this year was the biggest yet. Even though it was probably the worst Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, no, I agree. It probably was the worst one, but it's good. You can tell that the gamers are here and they want a place for something like this. Like, there's still an audience. There is an audience for this, and they're craving this style of conference or just something similar to this. Better, but similar to this. And we're hungry for it. All right, I'll take 2 or 3 of these a year.
The numbers are 27 million views plus the live stream reactions. You can't really measure those numbers. But 27 million views on the actual official Game Awards channel and the the game spots and all that were also broadcasting.
It's not including all the YouTubers and TikToks and all. I mean, that 27 million views with it being from their core place just tells me that number is a lot larger. The amount of people who actually saw it was like humongous.
And then they had 3.5 million peak concurrent viewers. Which, for those of you who don't know, concurrent viewers is how many are watching at a single time. So at one point in the stream, they had 3.5 million people at that specific moment in time watching. Twitter interactions were up 100%, and the hashtag Summer Game Fest was up 69%. And then they had 6,000 co-streamers. So.
God dang.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, so.
The peak concurrent viewers is pretty good, too. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
again,
just
like
a
how many
little good.
people were watching it from a different streamer, so.
Yeah, I don't know how much they're, how much that 3.5 million peak concurrent viewers can compete against my 2 concurrent viewers, but you know, not to brag or anything.
Yeah, they wish. Summer Game Fest wish. Jeff Keighley, yeah. If you want to get in touch, we have a fee, like $10 or $15. Extra will be there at Summer Games Fest if you want us, but you got to pay the toll first.
Yeah, the troll toll.
The troll toll is $15. Well, how about a full tank of gas? That seems like worth it.
That's way more than $15.
It's very true.
That's everything he made from Summer Game Fest to fill up our tanks for gas. Oh, man.
Yeah, but, Summer Games Fest is some boring parts to it. It's good to know that the people are hungry for it, and be interesting to see next year, because E3 made an announcement that they'll be back next year. So it will be interesting to see how Jeff Keighley handles that. Is Jeff Keighley going to try to merge with E3 somehow? Will he just do his own thing? And if he does do his own thing, are we just going to see like 2 of the same events, just separate times and dates? Are we just going to see a split down the middle of would Xbox be with Jeff Keighley's thing, or would Xbox go to E3? And I mean, honestly, if E3 is going to try to do what they did back in the past with their panels and stuff, that shit is expensive. That shit is extremely expensive. I guarantee you, it was way cheaper for Xbox and way cheaper for all these third-party studios to just be at Jeff Keighley's thing and it be a streamed event, rather than spending I'm sure it's tens of millions of dollars on panels, on areas, the employees. Like, there's so much to that, and they charge up the wazoo for that stuff. So I mean, E3 thinks they're coming back, but once they start talking to these studios, I think they're gonna find that they're not gonna want to pay the price.
Yeah, one thing I think is interesting is someone was throwing out the idea, and I'm still mulling it over whether I agree with them or not. But they threw out the theory that maybe E3 got the lay of the land, figured out that most developers were going to be focusing on developing their games instead of developing playable demos or trailers, and just focus on the actual game development this year because of how much things were delayed with COVID and everything else, that they're going to just focus all their time and resources on actual games and not trailers or demos. And so when they got that lay of the land, that's when they canceled, and that's why Summer Game Fest was kind of wah-wah, is because no one were focusing on stuff, because I guess it takes 4 to 6 months to make a demo. But it's like...
Well, for the games that have already been working, for years on their game, then I could see that.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what I think about that idea, but it's an idea for sure. I never got that far into my into my degree to know, necessarily the business side of it. But I do know that demos, a lot of times, not all the time, a lot of times demos are their own thing. There are plenty of examples of them just putting out the full game for their demos. Actually, Larry Bundy Jr. has a video about it where there were several games that the demo actually had the full game in it, and if you used like level select cheats and stuff, you could play the full game.
Oh damn!
On the demo discs because because all they did was they just turned off the ability to go to the next level when you beat the first level or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so by going to level select, you skip that that coding that says, hey, end right here.
Uh-huh.
And then you can just play the rest of the game normally. You skip the one wall they put up. So there's plenty of examples of people actually putting out the full game for the demo, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, we got a year, so...
Yeah. Oh, boy. So that was the last story. I think we're around the 40-minute mark, so I think that's a pretty good podcast.
I'd say so myself. Sorry for the people who didn't like my rant about EA just digging a grave for their franchise, but I felt like it needed to be said.
Yeah, fuck EA.
Yeah, fuck EA.
Please, EA, give me my Jedi Survivor very quickly, please.
Yeah. Also, I want Jedi Survivor and reboot the Dead Space franchise. Like, make this reboot. Make more Dead Space games, please, and thank you. Yeah. Fuck EA.
Yeah, fuck EA. Unless they're willing to give us review copies of those games, and then we will say nothing but praises. We will sell out that quickly.
Unless they give us a game like Battlefield 2042, then I'm going to tell them exactly what I think about it. But yeah.
I wonder how many people actually think we'd chill like that.
Well, maybe. They might think that.
Oh, boy. They don't know us well enough. So if you liked this podcast, or even if you didn't like this podcast, make sure to do all of the things like hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, and hitting that bell on youtube.com/the XofPlays. Or giving it a high rating on whatever podcast service you use so you can find like-minded people. Be sure to tell people about the show. Word of mouth is the best way for us to grow as a podcast and as a brand, XofPlays brand. And I brought it up before, but on patreon.com/thebriefingroom, you can financially support the show and get cool rewards as well. That's all from us. Take care.
That's all.